Their meeting was pure coincidence. A sudden downpour had forced her to take shelter under the awning of a cafe. The storm raged on, lightning illuminating the wet pavement as she fumbled through her bag for her umbrella. A deep sigh left her lips when she realized she had left it at home. Just as she was about to resign herself to waiting, a voice interrupted her thoughts. "Need some cover?" She turned and saw a young man holding out his umbrella. He had an easy smile, warm brown eyes, and a quiet confidence that made her heart skip a beat. He was tall, well-dressed, but not in an ostentatious way, and something about him felt effortlessly charming. "Thanks," she said, stepping closer under the shelter he offered. "I'm Daniel." "Sophie." As the rain continued, they talked, discovering shared interests, books, travel, and a love for quiet places in the bustling city. They ended up ducking into the cafe, spending hours chatting over coffee. Sophie was enthralled by Daniel's stories of his studies abroad, his fascination with classic literature, and his dreams of stepping away from his family's business to pursue something of his own. One meeting turned into another, and soon, they were inseparable. Daniel introduced her to places in the city she had never been before: art galleries, hidden bookshops filled with rare finds, small diners where they talked until closing time. Sophie, in turn, introduced him to the simple joys of her world: watching sunsets from the bookstore's rooftop, writing stories in the park, and finding beauty in life's smallest moments. But Daniel wasn't just any young man. He was the son of the influential Blackwood family, owners of a powerful investment firm. His father, Richard Blackwood, was a ruthless businessman, and his mother, Eleanor Blackwood, was a socialite who valued status above all else. They had carefully planned their son's future, and Sophie was not part of it. When they discovered Daniel's relationship with Sophie, they were furious. He was summoned to their grand estate, a mansion that loomed over the city like a fortress. The air inside was cold, the opulence suffocating, as his parents sat across from him in their extravagant sitting room. "This girl is beneath you," Richard declared, his voice sharp as a knife. "She has nothing to offer." "She makes me happy," Daniel replied, his jaw set in defiance. Eleanor leaned forward, her manicured fingers tracing the rim of her wine glass. "Happiness doesn't pay the bills, darling. You were born to lead, to marry within your class. What would people say if you ended up with a bookstore clerk?" Daniel clenched his fists. "Sophie is more than that. She has dreams, ambitions, she's working hard for what she wants, unlike the people in our world who have everything handed to them." Richard scoffed. "Romantic nonsense. Love fades, but power, influence, those are lasting. End this ridiculous affair before it ruins your future." Daniel stormed out, refusing to listen. But his parents weren't finished. They turned their attention to Sophie. One evening, she received an unexpected visitor at the bookstore. Eleanor Blackwood entered with an air of quiet authority, placing a check on the counter. $100,000, she said coolly. "Take it, leave Daniel, and never look back." Sophie's hands trembled as she looked at the check. The amount was staggering. It could change her life, pay for her education, help her mother retire from her exhausting job, give her a fresh start. But at what cost? For days, she wrestled with the decision. Every time she saw Daniel, she felt the weight of it grow heavier. She loved him, but love didn't erase the financial struggles she had endured her entire life. Could she really ask him to throw away his future for her? One night, she met Daniel under their favorite oak tree in the park. The weight of the decision crushed her. "They offered me money to leave you," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Daniel's expression darkened. "Tell me you didn't take it." She hesitated, her heart pounding. "Daniel, this isn't just about us. Your parents will never accept me. And this money could give my family everything they've ever needed." A painful silence stretched between them. "You're choosing money over me?" His voice cracked with disbelief. Tears filled her eyes. "I'm choosing survival." He stepped back, shaking his head. I would have given you everything, Sophie. My love, my life. You didn't have to take their money. But she had. And as he walked away, she felt the weight of her decision settle in her chest like a stone. Years passed. Sophie became a successful writer, but the victory felt hollow. She had the life she dreamed of, but every book she wrote carried the ache of what she had lost. She often found herself rereading the letters Daniel had sent her before everything fell apart, letters she had never answered. One evening, as she signed copies at a bookstore event, she caught a familiar pair of warm brown eyes in the crowd. Daniel. He was older, more refined, but the way he looked at her hadn't changed. Still choosing survival? He asked softly. She swallowed hard. Still wishing I had chosen differently. Neither of them spoke the words they both thought. Some choices could never be undone. And some loves were never meant to be.